Welcome to Naked Spirituality, a video blog series of sacred attention therapy and the Center for Human Awakening. My name is Rob Meager. For more information about sacred attention therapy, the Center for Human Awakening, and our video blog series, please visit our website at www.centerforhumanawakening.com. And center is spelled C-E-N-T-E-R. These video blogs support one of the Center's core activities, which is collaboration and partnership with individuals, communities, and healing centers practicing personal growth and spiritual development. Our guest today is Kim Lincoln, and we'll be talking with Kim about her healing work through various initiatives. And I will now bring Kim on screen. Kim, I'll welcome you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and it's wonderful to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Kim,
Yeah.
you're involved in a beautiful plethora of initiatives, and we'll talk about those hopefully as we share today. But one of your websites greets the visitor with the two words, living authentically, in big, bold letters. What is living authentically, and how does one live authentically?
That's such a great question. Yeah. Authenticity is not an idea. It's not an image of ourselves. It's not something to attain. It's really the God-given gift that we all came in with, that divine spark of our being. And accessing that is the dance that we get to explore in this life. So the authenticity is what's true within us, but how do we touch the truth? And some people believe love is enough, but without truth, it's not really love. It's an idea of love. So authenticity takes us to the very core of our being, and the walk in life is being congruent with that. Yeah. A long-winded answer.
If one does not feel or think or believe they're living authentically, how does one begin to make the transformation?
Yeah, the journey. It helps to read and be inspired. It helps to watch videos and feel the presence of people that have been walking the path. And I recognize that in you. It's wonderful to be with fellow travelers. But the actual stepping through, as you know, it's not an easy journey. We have to really look at the truth of what's present anyway. We've turned away or hidden, right? The divine spark within us. And that's quite a walk, because it may not go along well with our family or our friends or society. It really takes us to some edges of really refining our discernment and fine-tuning that inner barometer of self-knowing. So ultimately it brings us to a teacher, and we have to do our work.
Now, you have an interesting personal history, and you've talked about your journey in your website. And just a few of the points that I found when I explored your website. You were born near Mount Shasta in California. You lived with different families very early in life. This culminated in a personal retreat in 2002 that resulted in the decision to start your personal teaching. And what I wanted to ask him, how did your early childhood experiences influence you later in life?
Well, I was always looking for home. You know, it was that search. So developmentally, I missed all the early attachment. And so for me, which means I didn't have a constant mother until I was 2. I had 5 different mothers. It wasn't foster care, but it was being moved among family and friends while my mother um, was somewhere else and needing to heal. But as a child, we don't know that. And to suddenly be changed from place to place, I began believing in myself as a child something must be wrong with me, that I didn't have that constant love, right? Or that constant holding. And I was always the one too many that was in the way for these families. The thankful piece is this was a little town of about 300 people that my first couple of years were spent in. And so nature um, became the holder. And I began to believe that God was everywhere, right? And that there was this love. Somehow I touched into this benevolence of love at a very young age. And that became the holding, but I still wanted to make it an object, right? And so I spent many years looking outside of myself for the person, right? And then I discovered, oh, that's a pretty devastating journey because no individual can hold all of that for us. And that brought me back to the inner place that got ignited early on to rediscover what that truly means and truly is. And so now friendships or partners or whoever are off the hook from having to fill all of that, right?
Now, you experienced many teachers along the way and
Yeah.
many modalities, especially from the 60s through
Mm-hmm.
to 2002. And how has this all come together in what you offer today?
Yeah, it's a synthesis of all my life experience. Um, you know, just bringing the best of every place I've studied, and you know, there comes a point that one recognizes the truth is everywhere, and that all of these different teachings had a center, and all of these centers were the same in my personal experience. And so it became not so much teaching a modality, but teaching what is the essence of what this person is needing to touch into, which is their essence. But all of the modalities have given me tools to work with individuals in a way that most supports that person. For a body in shock, the gentle trauma touch work or the different body work modalities are a trustworthy way to make contact or introduction with a person. Um, some people, the talk, some people just go right direct to presencing and direct experience, while others need more understanding and they want the neurobiology, you know, they want the science. But at the heart of it all, it's the mystical connection to that inner star. Yeah, our inner light.
Now, you're involved in your work seems to cross over a variety of initiatives, and just three that I'm aware of And please, if there are others, share, or if these have even come together further, let us know. But those three are: one, living authentically, or what looks like your core website;
Mm-hmm.
two, the school, terrain of essence, a path for self-realization;
Mm-hmm.
and three, ortho-bionomy.
Yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit about each of these initiatives?
Oh, yes. The living authentically is just me. It's life. And it's everything that's going on in my life. You know, there's a little blog, there's the classes that are current, um, that people can know about. And it introduces people to a lot of the different aspects. It supports my book, it supports my children's CD, right? Um, the school, it's really for people that want to do the deep work. I have a 1-year course and a 3-year course and a 650-hour practitioner training,
Mm-hmm.
so that I feel confident about referring people, because my schedule's full, referring people on to others that I feel are deeply trained, right? So then that's the school. The ortho-bionomy, I came from a lot of trauma, in all ways, all different ways. We don't need to go there. But in my own healing, very early on, starting at 14, I needed body work, and it started with chiropractic. But the pain in my body wasn't healing. And then in my mid-20s, I came into the really deep work, and I realized some of the pain was my mindset, right? But there was also some pain that nobody seemed to be able to really touch, because, you know, it was just complex injuries. So the emotional and the mental was being addressed, but the physical was still pretty tangled. I had, yeah, a lot of injuries. I started moving in with my mom. I decided to fly away and live with the neighbors. And I took a flight off a second-story balcony, really young. You know, they cooked real good food. I'm going to go live with that family, right? And I discovered my wings failed me. And as many people are learning with early traumas, they lay down patterns, and we tend to repeat those patterns, right? So by my mid-20s, I began recognizing, wow, I have a lot of pattern here. It's pretty deeply embedded. So I explored receiving a lot of different kinds of energy work and body work. And out of that, a couple just made huge changes in my physical comfort. And one was the ortho-bionomy, and the other was cranial sacral work. I had had a lot of brain injury too, so those pieces really helped bring me back online so that I could function more again. The ortho-bionomy, I was just on fire, because I studied a lot of different bodywork trainings, thinking, oh, I've got to learn this so I can help myself, right? And it just went along with the essence work. It really is meaning what is. No pain, no gain does not exist in that world in the way of forcing change. It's more of an invitation of change and bringing in a more global, larger picture. And it's a very touch conscious work, meaning there are just so many different levels of touch that are invited into the awareness of practicing that work and working with clients, right? So if a person's really needing grounding, just a gentle compression so that that psoas is met in the pelvic floor, gets met, and the person has more ability to land in their body and on this ground, right? And then some are like the phase 7, which is just, it's in the ethers. We're working pretty far out of the body and with a larger global awareness.
Kim, what would someone experience if they came to work with you?
It varies with everybody, but the first thing I would want to know why they're here and what their need is, and I would just start from there. And I would also let people know of the variety of modalities there are. Like, we can start with table work, we can start with talk work, or maybe the public drop-in class, just to begin to observe people processing their stuff and moving through the embodied sense of a felt sense. You know, so the work is to bridge mind and body, because it's in the bridging of mind and body that we have access to that beautiful light that we already are, right? Yeah.
Beautifully expressed.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, Kim, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, if they wanted to follow up with you, how could they do so? Is there an email address they can reach out to you at? Are there website addresses you want to make people aware of?
I usually ask people to go to the websites, kimlincoln.com, and just reach me on the contact page. Sign up for my newsletter. They'll get a lot of the updates of activities I have going on. And I do have some public workshops this next year. A lot of my work is private. People sign up and then they're in it in a very personal way. But I do teach some public classes, and I do have a public online group through Zoom. and that's a nice venue, and that's a class that's the first Tuesday of every month at 4:00. But I do ask that people sign up for six class increments, which is one class a month for 6 months.
Right.
And it's very inexpensive. It's just a great way for people to be introduced to the practice and begin their practice, or practitioners to deepen their practice more. I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Kim Lincoln. I'd love for people to subscribe. And yeah.
Wonderful.
And I can give my phone number.
Feel free.
Yeah, so my business line is 360-866-9234.
Wonderful. We'll make sure that the website address, kimlincoln.com, and the phone number 360-866-9234 are in the credits at the end.
Yes, and then my book is on Amazon.
Okay.
It's I can't believe, I'll get a copy and hold it up.
Okay.
And a little plug for my work. But it's, let's see, Holy Here, Holy You, Discovering Your Authentic Self.
Thank you.
And in it, I give some great exercises for people to begin looking at what is the felt sense in the body? when they're not in alignment with truth, or you know, entangled in judgment, right, which keeps us from the truth or love. And so the book has several really beneficial exercises that I use in the work all the time, that really guidance brought forward, but they're everywhere. Yeah.
And so the book is available on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and also accessible through the kimlincoln.com website.
It'll link them to Amazon.
Sure.
And unfortunately however we look at that, that's the venue I needed to go.
Sure.
At this point. All the local bookstores in Olympia, like Orca Books and Boom Gallery, and soon Browser Books will have it too. But
well, we'll make sure, again, your contact information is in the scrolling credits at the end so that people can get in touch with you and follow up with you directly. Thanks so much, Kim.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to join with you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye.